G'day guys, welcome back to another episode. On today's little adventure, I'm going to show you how to catch mud crabs. So this is for beginners. So let's do it. Alrighty guys, I'm going to go through step by step just in case you're new to the game of mud crabbing and you want to get into it. So we'll go through the basics, what gear you need, what bait to use, where to put your pots, how long to leave them soaked for, size, limits, all that sort of stuff, how to tell male and female. So we're just over, sitting on the beach now, got the little boat there, we'll go and dump the pots in and we'll get into it. So hope you guys find this helpful. We just missed a beautiful sunrise, but I did have the drone with me, so check a little bit of this out. Righto, let's get into it. So we got the little pig out today. We got 4 pots because you're only allowed 4 pots per person. We got bait in there stewing. So the bait we're using today is chicken and marinated in tuna oil. So we'll get this boat off the rocks and go and sink them. Alright guys, so tip number 1 I suppose is they're not called mud crabs for no reason. So no good putting them along the rocks here unless it's after big floods, so all the fresh water would push them out the front. No such luck here, so let's go find some mud. Alright guys, so we're going to string a few pots over along this mangrove edge here. This is on the edge of the ocean, so at the front of a mouth creek. We have had a little bit of rain, so I'm hoping the crabs are, you know, coming out towards the more saltier water. That's the theory anyway, so we'll give it a go. Alright, so now we've got to bait the pots up. Alright, it's go time. Have a look at this mess. So this is 2 whole chickens that I bought and just cut them in half, and I've had them soaking in tuna oil overnight. So I left them in the sun all day yesterday, because last time we came out the stinkier bait seemed to do well. So basically all we're going to do is chuck a half in each pot. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty because there's really no avoiding it. So in Queensland you have to have pots on your floats with your name on them plus a tag. That's the law. So I'll bait these up and we'll chuck them in the drink. Don't forget your float is on a long rope, so don't throw it in too close because you still need to get it later. So especially if you're crabbing by yourself, you want to make sure you're making it as easy as you can. So bombs away. Repeat the process as many times as you've got pots and you're good to go. Alright, so while I'm baiting up this pot guys, there's a couple of different styles of crab pots that you can get yourself. These ones here in particular are known as safety pots, mainly because once the crabs get in they really can't get out, so your catch is safe. The other type, which I'll throw a picture up on the screen here so you can see. Now this style is called a dilly pot. I'm sure there's other names for them out there, but that's what we call them. Now these are more if that's all you're doing for the day is chasing crabs. So you really got to work these things. You sort of check them every 20-25 minutes, and when the pot is in the water, it's laying down flat, so the crabs can just walk in. They don't have to try and climb in like they do in these bad boys. But then when you pull the rope up, the sides of the pot come up, and hopefully you got a few. Me personally, I like using dilly pots, I really do. They're a lot of fun, but you have to be dedicated to crabbing only, you know. It's you can't really just leave them in and go fishing. And today, barra season is open, so I wouldn't mind going for a fish. Bombs away. Whoops. What a day. Beautiful. These floats are awesome because you just wrap your rope around it, so I really like them. Oh, there we go. Alright guys, with regards to crab bait, or what bait to use when trying to catch crabs, I found that pretty much anything will catch crabs. Some baits work better than others. There's a big debate whether fresh bait or stinky old bait works better. I'm still on the fence with that one. We're trying the stinky version today. But if you're struggling for bait, you can always just go to the servo and pick up a packet of whole mullet, you know, like the sea mullet, about a foot long. They're really good. That used to be my go-to. I'm just trying the chicken more at the moment. I've tried kangaroo, steak, sausages. I've put lamb roasts in crab pots. I've put all sorts of shit in there, so mix it up, see what works well in your area, and just, yeah, stick to that. But you pretty much can't go wrong. The only thing I've found that isn't real good for crabs is reef fish. Like me and Dan, the Harley man, we put sweet lip fillets in a crab pot, and it was just shit. We didn't catch anything. So anything except for sweet lip fillets. This is our last pot, guys, so I'm just gonna chuck the float over this stick. I'm doing that just so it's a bit easier for me to grab it by myself. So now look at all this goodness. Let's start a slick. Oh yeah, that'll get them going. We'll bring the sharks in, one or two. Any oily bait pretty much works well, so there's a bit of a tip for you. Alright, so now you got your pots in. You want to leave them soak for as long as you can without them going high and dry. What I mean by that is make sure you're throwing them in enough water. So if you're throwing them in on high tide, you want to make sure there's enough water for the pot to still be covered at dead low tide. Because you don't want any crabs that you may have caught to be stuck there in the sun, especially if you live up here, North Queensland. Like, we get 40-degree days regularly in summer, so you don't want to kill the crabs you just caught. Plus, they wouldn't be real good to eat. So yeah, make sure you don't leave them high and dry. Ideally, you want them in the water for probably as many turns of the tide as you can get away with. Like, if you can leave them overnight, perfect. That's the go. Here's old mate over here in the boat. That's probably the other bloke crabbing this spot at the moment, but today's Thursday too, so I didn't expect to see anyone out today, but oh well, good on him. you won't do any good checking my pots because I only just put them in. But yeah, basically leave them overnight. If you put them in on high, pick them up on high, or just make it easier for you to get back to that location. You don't want to be waiting out the tide. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, guys. Today I'm only gonna have a chance to leave them in for a few hours because work and shit like that, you know. I don't have a couple of days, and I'm out of town tomorrow, so I can't leave them in overnight. But anyway, hopefully we'll catch something. I'll be able to show you the difference between male and female. Another thing you need if you're going out to buy all your gear to go crabbing, so you need pots, ID tags, floats, you'll need a crab measurer and bait. Pretty much that's all you need. You're laughing. So the crab measurer, I've got one that was custom made for me by my old mate Macca, made out of aluminium, and exactly 15 centimeters. So the plastic ones you get in the shop, they do tend to warp over time because they're plastic, you know, and you tend to leave them in a boat in the sun all day. So if you can get like a steel one or aluminium, stainless, whatever, SkidPig, I should sell these, eh? Bottle opener, yeah, you're on your way. All right, we'll let them buggers soak and I'll get back to you. All right, I did forget to mention one vital part to fishing, crabbing, or any sort of outdoor adventure at all. To be successful, you need a cold beer, and the best cold beer is 4X or Great Northern or anything from Feral Brewing Company. I really like that shit. Imperial Biggie Juice, oh yeah. All right, now we'll get into it. Cheers. Heap of stingrays, man. Wow, there's heaps of them. Don't know if you can see them there. That is awesome. Hopefully you can see through the water. Here, look at this. Look, there's a stingray right there. How cool is that? It's a hammerhead, look at it. Wow, eating stingrays, that's awesome, man. I hope that picked up on camera, man. That was unbelievable. And we got a rainbow. What a day. I'll live for this shit. Look, there's a stingray coming right on. Oh no, there he goes. I hope the GoPro can pick all that up. Wow. Wow. Stingray City. Have a go at that. Never in my life have I seen so many stingrays. That is just amazing. There'd have to be 50 of them. I don't know what they are, if they're poisonous or not, but that just stung me, and that is stinging like all fuck. Ow. Seen a big school of bait fish moving just over here, so I've grabbed the cast net. We'll just see what we can do. Hopefully we don't catch any stingrays. Oh yeah. Well, I reckon that'll do me. That's a good haul of whiting. Oh, I'll go back and get me bucket. We're on. We got something. Kaylee's good. Oh no, he spat me. Oh no, he's still there. Kaylee's good luck rod. Kaylee's my daughter, in case you didn't know. What do we got here, guys? Hope the camera's looking the right way. I've no idea. What do we got? Shovelnose Shark, you reckon? Yep. Where you going, buddy? Come on now. He's a decent shovel. Come on, mate. I'm gonna let you go, just come in. Come here, champ. No landing net, I'm just gonna have to grab him. There we go. I'm gonna get my hook back out of you, champ. Calm down. Cut it down as close as I can so it's not interfering with him too much. He's just on a meter. Not bad. I'm gonna let him go, so. All right, buddy. See you, champion. Off to fight another day. You! Man, I swear Kaylee's fishing rod is the only one that actually catches fish. Oh well, on with the show. Alright guys, well we didn't leave the pots in very long. They've only been in the water for a couple of hours, but I just wanted to give you the rundown of, you know, the basics of how you catch mud crabs. So luckily we did catch one, just so I can show you. Unfortunately he's not legal, but it is a male. So this is a male mud crab, which is called a buck. And the way you tell is the underbody. So that sharp pointy triangle, the females have a much broader shape on their underbelly. I'll show you a picture on the screen, but if you've watched any of my other videos, I go through it pretty much every time I catch one. But yeah, so that's them. That's a buck mud crab. You got to be really careful when handling these guys. You want to grab them between the swimmers, because if these nippers get a hold of you, even the smaller ones will make a mess of your finger or your toe. So you can see you go from the outside point to the outside point, so this guy's well and truly undersized, so we got to let him go. But yeah, that's the gist of it, guys. Happy crabbing. I hope this video helped you. Don't forget, leave your pots in a lot longer than we did today, but this was purely for educational purposes. So see you later, little buddy. I'll catch you later, literally. All right, let's get off this mud flat before we get stuck here for another 6 hours. Alrighty, so while we're cruising along here, I just wanted to point out the type of things you want to look for when you're trying to find a spot to sink a pot. So obviously there's mangroves everywhere, right? Mangroves means mud. Mud means mud crabs, but there are certain things you got to look for. Keep an eye on the deep side and the shallow side of the creek. Like obviously the current takes a specific turn, you know, on each bend. So you want to keep an eye on that. Make sure you got enough water. As I said earlier, you don't want to leave them high and dry. And there's other things such as these little gutters. So what you're looking at here is a prime spot for a pot. So this is the main creek here, right? And then that's a little offshoot. So that there is going to be like a highway for mud crabs. Saying that, there is a problem with that sort of stuff, guys, because it's very obvious and visible. Every man and his dog thinks exactly the same thing. They're like, let's put a pot there, let's put a pot there. Every little gutter you see, there'll be a pot. Other things are like this. We can see this one singular tree and like a bit of a cutout. That to me indicates there's a hole. So there would be a bit of a hole there. That would be a pretty good spot for a pot. Not everyone, you know, looks at stuff like that as good crab spots. So you can have a look at the bank for indications of crabs, you know, like big crab holes, etc. But often, you know, it's going to be underwater or you won't be able to see them. But one more thing to keep in mind, see there, that's another little offshoot, not a real noticeable one. If you come and scout the creeks at low tide, you're going to have a way better chance of finding all these little gutters and offshoots and stuff that are going to be covered by water on high tide. So bit of a tip there, go and have a look around at low tide. See, here's another one up here. I'll just get up a little bit closer. Stuff like that, guys, that's what I'm talking about. You chuck your pot right in the middle of that. Doesn't matter if the tide's coming in or coming out, they're going to get the scent of it. And if you leave it in there overnight, you know, or for at least a couple of turns of the tide, you're a pretty good chance. So that's basically the type of things you want to look for. It's not that you won't catch mud crabs around rock banks and stuff like that, or you can, but you're not as, you know, your chances aren't as high. So look for the mud, look for, you know, places, try and get into places where people can't go. Like, it's so hard these days, man. Everyone has a boat, everyone has a million crab pots, and they take way more than they need. Like, think about it. Like, how many mud crabs can one person eat? I can only eat one myself. So if I'm eating, you know, if I'm catching mud crabs for just me, one will do. I'll keep them taped up. I won't put them in the esky, I'll put them in a bucket so I don't put them all to sleep. And I'll pick the biggest, most fullest one and let the rest go. But so many people that keep everything they catch, it's such a waste. But anyway, don't get me started on that. I'll go on for hours. Another thing to note, guys, is be aware of the run of the tide. So the run of the tide, by that I mean how much it's going to fluctuate between high tide and low tide. So if you've got like a 3 meter run, like a 3 meter difference, you don't want to put your pots in the main creek, or, you know, where the current is just going to be gushing. Because remember, crabs have only got 2 little swimmer legs at the back, so it's not like they have a big tail where they can swim against currents and all that sort of stuff. So it would make it a little bit hard for them. You want to put your pots in like quiet backwater sort of areas where you know they'll be able to cruise around and yeah, not get taken away with with the current. So that'll help you out as well. Just thought of that while we were cruising along. Alright, so while we're just poking along down the creek, I thought I'd introduce this shirt to you guys in case you're wondering what the hell I'm wearing. This is from a brand called Unfamiliar. He's a mate of mine, lives in Townsville, local to me, and he has a range of fishing and hunting gear, guys, so check him out. I'll throw his Instagram handle on the screen here. And this champion, we are going to start working together soon, and we're going to make a range of SkidPig fishing gear, so get some fishing shirts. We're going to do some average Aussie adventure stuff, guys, so if you're interested in that, keep an eye out on the channel. And yeah, once I've got some info, I'll share it. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to drop a big thank you, dude, for hooking me up with some new merch and stuff. So I'll be repping his clothes a bit, and hope you guys will check him out, show him a bit of love, tell him that I sent ya. That'll be legit. Back to the show. Alrighty guys, we're just heading back into the ramp now. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks for watching. If you haven't already, give it a big thumbs up if you found the video helpful. If you haven't already, head butted that subscribe, be sure to do that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Alrighty then. See you later, toodaloo, ta-da, bye, hooroo, love ya!